So the Nigerian police are currently searching for someone who was involved in the Anthony Joshua fatal car crash, my people. We got some breaking news to talk about and an Anthony Joshua update. If you guys aren't up to speed, on Monday, former two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world who just fought against Jake Paul live on Netflix in Miami, Florida on December 19th, was taking a trip to his home country in Nigeria. Along with them, two of his personal trainers, but I like to call these guys two of his road dogs, two of his best friends, Kevin Latif and Sinagami, who were, this is why I say that they were best friends, because they were going with Anthony Joshua to Nigeria to celebrate Christmas and New Year's Eve with Anthony Joshua and his family. And within 6 hours, they get into a fatal car crash on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, which is one of the most deadliest roads on earth. 2 to 3 people are dying a day on that road. Now, we're going to get into specifically why that road is so dangerous, but as of right now, Anthony Joshua is good. There's no major injuries going down with him. He's in a private hospital right now. They're working on him. Everything seems to be fine with him. Now, mentally wise, I don't know. I don't know how he feels about losing his two best friends that traveled with him to his country so that they could visit his family. And all this went down. Wow. We're starting to hear new updates that the police are starting to do their investigations and may be arresting the driver who was driving the vehicle that Anthony Joshua was in and his two best friends. Supposedly, this is what happened. We've heard many different reports, but Anthony Joshua was in the back seat with his two best friends. One was sitting right next to him. The other was sitting in the passenger seat right next to the driver. The driver was actually not part of their team. This was somebody that they hired in Nigeria to be able to drive him around, drive him to where Anthony Joshua and his friends were going to their families' home state. And you guys, the Ibadan Expressway, like I said, is one of the most dangerous roads on earth. If you do your own research, I got some pictures here for you. There are some roads that are absolutely ridiculous to even imagine driving on if you're somebody here from the US. I've never been to the UK or those countries. I don't know how those roads are, but over here on the freeways, we have dividers. We have people driving this way. We have people driving this way, opposite. And there's dividers, okay? We got lines in the middle of our road, stop signs. We got stop lines. But on that Lagos Ibadan Expressway, there are certain sections on the freeway with tons and tons of traffic that don't have dividers. And people can stick out wherever they want. I guarantee you, if that's how it was over here, a lot more people would be dying than just 2 to 3 a day. It is horrible, dude. And not just that, but because there aren't no lines that, are keeping each other, keeping you in your line. Drive straight in between these lines. Don't go over them or else you're going to bump into somebody. They don't have that in certain parts of that Lagos Ibadan Expressway. So people are just cutting each other off. That's actually normal. If you do your own research and watch vlogs of people driving down that same expressway, you will see that is actually how they drive normally out there. They're cutting each other off. People are stopping in the middle of the road to pull off to the right without putting on their lights, signal lights or nothing, and stop so fast that you have to move out the way, which over here would be absolutely illegal. Now, we're hearing reports that the police are looking to arrest the driver who was driving the vehicle that Anthony Joshua was in, because not only was he over speeding, going over the speed limit, but was illegally trying to overtake cars. Now, like I said, that's how everybody drives over there. There's a reason why Anthony Joshua and his team didn't rent a car and drive themselves around there. No, this is not where you drive yourself around. You have to hire somebody who's experienced in driving on this expressway, one of the most dangerous expressways that there is. So they hired him. You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to cut people off. And of course, you're never supposed to do that, right? There are some drivers on that expressway that drive completely normal because they understand the consequences, but most of the people don't care because the law's not enforcing it over there, right? Over here, you got police every goddamn 10 minutes on the freeway. It's completely different over there. That's just how life is. And not only are they looking to investigate him for overtaking cars, right? They're also looking for the person who stopped the diesel truck that was on the side of the road that Anthony Joshua's car crashed in once they lost control. They were trying to overtake the car. They lose control and ram into the side of this big old diesel, which absolutely destroys the right side of the car of Anthony Joshua. That's why the two people who were sitting on the right side both passed away. But the thing is, was that diesel that was parked there on the side of the freeway was not supposed to be parked there. And it was too close to the intersection of the freeway. Exactly what I just told you guys. That people are pulling off and stopping at areas where you're like, what? I gotta swerve out the way. Dude, you can't stop right there. That is where the diesel was parked. Too close to the freeway. They're supposed to go out there more, but he wasn't. And because of that, Anthony Joshua and them hit them, and those guys died. And the person who was driving, who parked that diesel there, actually took off running and left the scene. Yes, the guy who had the diesel that was parked right there, illegally parked right there, left the scene and is on the run. The police are looking for him right now. It is breaking news, my friends, and it is so sad to hear, dude, that those two friends of Anthony Joshua had to lose their lives because of this road, this expressway being absolutely horrible now. It is, I mean, the road is what it is, right? The country is what it is. There's nothing that none of us could do about it over here. We just hope that they can figure out a way to, cause less deaths, be able to fix this, because it's not just Anthony Joshua and his two friends that passed away. I think in this last month, there was a bus filled with 8 people that died and burnt to death. I think 3 weeks ago, there was another 12 people that crashed and died, right? So many deaths are occurring on that Lagos Ibadan Expressway, and in my opinion, it's just a street that you gotta stay away from, my friends. It's sad news to hear, but that is the update. Police are searching for the man who parked the diesel illegally, and they're looking to arrest the driver that Anthony Joshua and his team hired for just being like all those other drivers on that road and driving too fast and maybe trying to show off. Look at me, I'm the best driver. And then something like that happened, my people. Tragic news, man. Let me know what you guys think. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel, and I'm out.